Following the ASEAN summit in Laos, Chinese Premier Li Qiang will head to Hanoi this weekend for an official visit at the invitation of his Vietnamese counterpart. Tung Ngo looks at what Vietnam could be wanting from this visit.
This will be Mr. Li Qiang's first visit to Hanoi as Chinese premier, following a series of recent trips by top Vietnamese leaders to China.
I think this visit is very important because it aims to enhance the party-to-party relationship between the Chinese Communist Party and the Vietnamese Communist Party a year after the agreement to upgrade the bilateral tie to the community with shared future. And also in the background of recent visits by respective Vietnamese leaders, the new General Secretary To Lâm and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính.
In Hanoi, Mr. Li is expected to meet key Vietnamese leaders, and discussions are expected to focus on trade and economic cooperation. Experts say the visit will also aim to further the China-Vietnam community with a shared future, an agreement reached when Chinese President Xi Jinping visited last December.
Trong đó thì tôi rất là quan tâm là một số cái dự án về kết nối giữa Việt Nam và Trung Quốc, gọi là kết nối chiến lược Việt Nam và Trung Quốc. Ở đây tôi muốn nói một cái dự án mà rất là quan trọng, đó là dự án kết nối đường sắt giữa hai bên.
The future of this railway could be a major focus during Mr. Li's talks in Hanoi. The tracks were originally laid by the French when Vietnam was still a colony a century ago, and they are set to be transformed into a modern system connecting China with Vietnam's key economic hubs, stretching across northern regions where many industries are based, to the seaport of Hai Phong. The $11 billion project, covering nearly 400 kilometers, is expected to begin construction within the next 3 years, and it is part of China's larger Belt and Road Initiative.
Nói đường sắt nhìn về lâu về dài, không phải chỉ kết nối giữa Việt Nam với Trung Quốc mà là Việt Nam với châu Âu, Việt Nam với các nước khác đi qua Trung Quốc bằng cái đường sắt đó.
Both sides are expected to iron out the details of their cooperation, including investment sources and the technical aspects of the railway.
I think this is very important for China because in Southeast Asia, if you look around, Vietnam remains one of the very few countries that are not really receptive to Chinese Belt Road Initiative. So the Chinese side might want Vietnam to commit more to the Chinese, ambition of building a China-led infrastructure project across Asia.
China is not only an increasingly important source of foreign investment, it is also Vietnam's largest trade partner. And Vietnam could request for greater market access for Vietnamese products to address its widening trade deficit with China, which reached nearly $40 billion in the first half of this year. Mr. Li is arriving in Vietnam shortly after tensions rose in the South China Sea. Just 2 weeks ago, Hanoi said 10 Vietnamese fishermen were assaulted when Chinese law enforcement personnel boarded their boat in the disputed Paracel Islands. But analysts say Vietnam will likely try to separate the dispute from its vital economic ties with China.
A very important point that I want to make is that although those incidents have happened in the past, but I think since at least 2020, the Vietnamese authorities have not really made public those cases. So I think the way that they really make public the cases to the media, to not only domestic media, but also international media, and also demanding the Chinese authority to show some kind of accountability to the incident, I think speak a lot of volume. I think this might be a significant signal to show that under the new leadership of To Lâm, Vietnam might be more willing to stand up to China.
Vietnam's new leadership is taking shape after much political change this year.
It is important to note that the Vietnamese leadership transition is still ongoing, and we still have 1 year on to the next party congress where the new leadership will be elected. So I think in Vietnam there had always been a feeling that the new leadership in Hanoi must know how to navigate their relationship with China really well. So I think it will be a significant point for the Vietnamese leadership now in Hanoi to see how they can deal with Beijing. And that would be a significant signal, not only to Beijing, but also for the domestic audience in Vietnam as well.
Mr. Li leaves Hanoi on Monday as the two communist neighbors look ahead to a milestone in bilateral relations. Next January, China will mark 75 years of diplomatic ties with Vietnam, just months after it marked its 75th National Day. Tung Ngo, CNA, Hanoi.